Have you ever dealt with politics, but at work? You kind of feel like you're back in high school. Hi, my name is Fred Darris. I'm the president of Diversified Staffing Group. Now I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you crack the code of politics while at work. Now I'm going to go through this outline here and check out the description that you can follow through and get a copy of this presentation. Number one, the supervisor. Okay, the supervisor is kind of like your teacher back in school. Remember, did you sit in the front of the class, the middle of the class, or the back of the class? That teacher's pet always sat in the front of the class. That's the politics, but this is the real world. So you want to be in the front of the class. So when that present or that speaker or the trainer is giving a presentation, sit in the front. The supervisor has a group of people, be in the front. Okay, it's also good to give him or her positive reinforcement, smile, head nod. When they're talking. If you're in a classroom setting, take notes. Okay, people like when you're taking notes because you're communicating what you're saying is important. And I'm going to write that down. Okay, so sit in front of the class. Give that professor or give that teacher, that trainer, that supervisor, that positive reinforcement that what you're saying is important. And I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn from you. And what you have to say, I'm taking note. Okay, and firm handshake. When you look them in the eye, I don't know how many times I've seen people, get that little, give a firm handshake as you look in the eye. Okay, you're sending a message. You're sending a message. You're confident, and hey, I feel good, and you're important, so I'm feeling good. If you're gonna, shake the hand of the president of the United States or of a company, you're gonna shake their hand firm and look them in their eye. Also, I like to thank the supervisor for giving you an opportunity. You've been working there, you've been working hard, and they see that have some skills, that you're there early, that you're working hard. But thank them for the opportunity. People, that supervisors gets complaints every day, right? But how many times have they been thanked for the opportunity? So make sure you thank them for the opportunity and anything positive that you can say. Hey, I like the way that you explain things. I like you gave me an opportunity to work on a different equipment, what have you. Thank that supervisor for the opportunity and anything else that you've experienced with them. And speaking of supervisors, call them by their first name, whether it's boss, whether it's Fred. People like to hear their name. So make sure you talk to their name, call them by their name, and also request for feedback. So if you're talking to your supervisor, after you work there for a week or so, say, hey, is there anything else that you'd like me to focus on, or can you give me some feedback on my work and what I'm doing? I like to know the good and the bad, right? Where are some areas that I can improve on, areas of opportunity, or hey, what do you like that I'm doing? So talk to that supervisor. Your relationship to the supervisor is key. Okay, so they're the one who's going to tell HR whether to let you go or to give you a raise, right? So I like to see as you have mother and father. Your supervisor is your father, and the HR is your mother, right? So you want to make sure you have a relationship with both. Okay, so this is good tips for both. Number two, the recruiter. Okay, sometimes once people get the job, they forget about the recruiter. Okay, so they're the ones who help get the job. That recruiter can be your asset, right? So the recruiter is kind of like your agent. It's kind of like your attorney. They're going to speak on your behalf, right? So you want to make sure you continue that relationship with the recruiter. So I like to tell people is make sure you give the recruiter feedback on how the job's going. Especially if you've been there a week, make sure you call them and let them know the good and the bad. Hey, here's what you like about the opportunity, about the job, about the culture, and here's what you're struggling with. Here's what you don't like. Okay, so make sure you give that recruiter an opportunity to adjust or to fix things. To go talk on your behalf as your agent. To make sure that things are going to work or going to continue to go right. Okay, so and also make sure your recruiter gives you the call-in information. So if you're ever late, if you're ever going to miss work, make sure you have the call information on who to call, and make sure you call your recruiter as well. Let your recruiter know what's going on. Hey, I'm going to miss work because of this. I was late because of that. That way, your agent will be able to speak on your behalf. Your attorney, if there's any issues, what have you. Okay. And also, another thing that with your recruiter is give your recruiter, especially after you've been there a few days or a week or so, you understand the work environment. Give them names of other employees that you think, other candidates that you think will be a good fit. Here at DSG, we just implemented a new referral program, so you'll get paid if you get another employee hired. So other companies do that as well, and your recruiter's going to appreciate that. Hey, this job could be a good fit for a friend of mine. Here's their information, their contact information, what have you. So that's good. Build that relationship, playing up politics with your recruiter. Number three, let people know that you've been mentored. Okay, so that's key. Okay, so when people know that you've been trained, you've been mentored, you've gone to class, if you will, they're gonna appreciate that and look at you a little different. Obviously, they're gonna set the expectation a little higher for you, but that's what you want because that's what you deserve because you've been mentored. First thing is being mentored is stay in your lane. Okay, so this isn't high school. Don't worry about what he's doing. Don't worry about what she's doing. You worry about your job. You stay in your lane. Okay, so I don't know how many times I've heard employees get caught up in other employees' situation or what have you. They get let go because they can't get along or don't get along. Got in an argument. Got in a fight with another employee. No, stay in your lane. Almost don't talk to anyone while you're working. You can talk to them before work, after work, or even on break. But when you're working, no talking, stay in your lane, be focused. And when you're at work, no cell phones. How many times have I heard or had people be on their cell phone? In fact, if I call you, you pick up. What are you doing? Answer the phone. I always ask, are you at work? Then why do you answer the phone? No phones at work. Okay, turn them off. Put it on silent. Leave it in the car. When you're at work, no cell phone, no texting. You know, sometimes people listen to music, but be careful there. Okay, so because I talked to some of my employees, they said, well, heck, I was just listening to music. No cell phones at work if you can avoid it. And make sure you get there 15 minutes early. That way, you know people know that you've been mentored, that you've been trained. Now, the definition of being on time is 15 minutes early. Okay, that way, if in case something happens, traffic, what have you, you've already got a little cushion built up, a little buffer, if you will. But make sure you get to work every day 15 minutes early, clock in. Then that supervisor already there because they got there early too, right? And so people know that you're professional, that you've been trained, that you've been mentored, and you know the importance of being on time. Number four, is that called miscellaneous? Uh, Take your time leaving. Okay, so if you get off at 3:30, don't be running out the door at 3:30. You know what I mean? Just take your time. There's gonna be a line of people clocking out. Don't be in that line. You know, take your time. You don't rush out right away. Oh, 4 o'clock, gotta go. No, just remember going to the bank 5 o'clock. You get there at 5:02, 5:01. You know, and the bank's closed. You're like, oh man. So don't be that person. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Okay, so make sure you take your time leaving and introduce yourself. Okay, introduce yourself to the HR manager. You know, again, not during work time, either before work or after work. If you get there in the morning, if you have a day shift, when you get off, that HR manager is still going to be there. So go introduce yourself to the HR manager. Let him or her know that you're working hard. Let them know what you like, and let them know that you thank them for the opportunity. Okay, so that's playing the politics at work. Okay, and then overtime. A lot of people ask me, hey, how do I get overtime? How do I get overtime? I said, the first thing is work there a week. Make sure they know your work ethic. Make sure they know that you're early, on time. Make sure they know that you work hard, your quality of work, and then you can ask, hey, is there opportunity of getting overtime? If you do it at the beginning, they're going to give you the standard, no overtime. But if they see you're one of the A players and they can really utilize you, they're going to say, hey, yeah, I got some extra hours you can pick up, or hey, I need someone working Saturday, Sunday, or hey, can you come in later on? Can you stay an extra hour, what have you? But when you want to ask after you demonstrate that you have that ability, it's kind of like a contract. You know, these baseball players, they have a great year and then they negotiate the contract. Same with football, right? So that's what you want to do as your agent. I'm telling you to make sure you perform and then ask for the overtime. That's playing the politics. Okay. And the fifth thing I like to talk about is smile. People love when you smile. And you're not smiling enough. Okay? So you think you're smiling. That's good. Smile more. Okay? People like when you smile. That's your number one goal is get people to like it. Because when they like it, they want to help you. Okay? When they want to help you, that means getting paid, right? That means overtime. That means getting opportunities, getting you feedback, getting you 3 strikes before you're out, what have you. People want to help those and be around those that they like. They want to associate with people that they like. So get them to like you. So smile is the number one way. Another way is say people's name. When's the last time you called someone by their name? So people like to hear their name. You call your friends by their name, right? So that's what you want to do. Is you want to get in the habit of calling people by their name. Don't do it too much. But at the beginning of the conversation, at the end of the conversation, take care, Bob. It's good seeing you. I'll see you tomorrow. Sometimes in the middle of the conversation, say their name. People like to hear their name. Also, people like positive energy. They like to be around people that have energy, that are excited. So show your excitement, show your enthusiasm. Just don't go to work and put in your time and do your job. Okay, your job, it's not about your job. It's about your job. You see the difference? You want to have that enthusiasm, you have that energy, you want to be excitement, and people can feel that, and they're going to want to be around you, and that's what you want. So those are some of the few tips of the politics at work, corporate politics. Now check out the next video and make sure you subscribe DSG channel. Thank you.